start my server. Now when you come back and reload this guy, okay, I say login, I say user underscore Mr. Prasad, I say account password, say some hello 123. Okay, I click on login. Now when you go to the console, could you able to see the data, whatever I have passed from the client machine, could I able to get it to the server? So whatever the data you have sent from here, user has sent the data from here. I mean, user is giving the data actually here. From this, it is coming over here. I mean, I could able to send the data to the server guy here. That is what I could able to see under the console of your server here. See, this is what the data I'm receiving. Now, if I have the data in general, what I need to do? Now I need to put a request to the database. Okay, I need to put a request to the database and I need to check in the database saying that whether this user with this corresponding password is existing or not, right? I give everyone following it. But right now, we haven't seen the concept of how do we connect to the database. Right now, I'm pausing it. Instead of connecting to the database, what I'm going to do is I can simply put some hard coding of this data. So what is the hard coding I'm doing here? I'm going to say if at all, or else I say where user data, whatever the data user is passing, that is under request.query, isn't it? Now what I'm going to say, I'm going to say user data dot, what is the key we are getting? User ID. User ID is equal to user underscore admin and user data dot password is equal to say something called as hello 123. So this is what the hard coding I'm doing, guys. What I'm doing the hard code part is when the user ID is admin, user underscore admin, and when the password is hello 123, then I'm treating this guy. I say where some data is equal to some object. I say data.msg is equal to valid user. If this is not the case, I say data.msg is equal to invalid. Can I do this? Okay, right now I am hard coding this data. In general, I need to compare this data with the DB. Right now, as I don't have the DB, I am hard coding. If the user ID is admin, if the user password is hello 123, then only you treat the data as a valid data. Okay. Now let us save this guy. I reload this guy. Do I need to restart my system? Restart my server? Anytime we do changes on the server side, it had recompiling is needed. So for that, you need to restart it. Now I restart my server. I come back, I reload the page. Once I click on login, I'm saying something called as hello, something called as test. Once I go to this web service, see, once I click on login, what is the response I'm getting? Invalid. What is expected? User underscore admin, hello 123. Once I click on login, I'm getting the response as valid user. So you have written one individual web service which is capable of taking ID and password, which is validating the data and returning the response accordingly. As I'm again telling you guys, right now I'm hard coding. In future, I will even remove this guy. I will show you how do you connect it to the database from this guy. How do you connect to the database? I'm going to show it to you. For now, I'm hard coding it. Any questions up to this? How can you make captcha to image boss? Guys, if you want to put the message, directly put it to me, not to everyone. Sorry. Make it to everyone, not only to me, Iris. Okay, I will talk about, in fact, like right now, this is an image only, right? If you see here, when I inspect this guy, this is a, where is that? See here, this is an image, dummy image. Okay, let us see how he is doing it. Generate captcha. Under the generate captcha, you see, there is one guy, what it is providing is, you provide this guy, when you hit this URL, with text is equal to Mr. Prasad. Once I click on enter, you see I got an image of the Prasad. Okay, there is one external URL. Some API, what they have done, not just only Prasad, you give any junk data, you click on this, they will come up with an image of it. Okay, you right click on this will become an image. Open image in a new tab. You should be able to see that as an image. So this guy you can make use. That is what he has used. What he has done, whatever the captcha you are generating, he is hitting this guy. And I mean, whatever the URL he is providing, if you pass that text as this guy, he is automatically giving us the URL for that. Am I clear, Iris? There is nothing logic. In fact, like we don't need to do anything. We can just depend upon the third-party APIs there. That's it. Okay. The next part is I'm validating this data. I'm responding back to the user. Now, the next question what I have is under the client side. Now, again, I'm switching back to the client side. Under login.js, what I need to do now, if at all, whatever the response you are receiving, if the response.msg is equal to valid user, you have to do something. If this is not the case, you have to do something for invalid user. If it is invalid user, what I can do under your index.html, where is the login module? This is the one, right? So under the login module, I can put some li. I say some class equal to invalid credentials. Under that, I can say that invalid credentials. I can say user ID or password. Now you may say something because when the user ID is correct, I want to show something message. Password is correct. When the password is wrong, I want to say that. In that case, we have to modify the condition under the server side. You see, when I'm server side, he's simply saying like valid user or invalid user. Now, if at all you have to say that whether it is a valid user ID or invalid password, then at the server side, you need to get that message. Right now, I'm not going too much deeper on that. I simply say this. And let us add the CSS for this guy. Under the CSS, why this running notes is here? It's 7 a.m. running notes. Okay, so I'm going into login.js. If it is valid user, invalid user under CSS. Okay, by default, this guy will be display none. Okay, now I can go with this login. Then I can say validate user credentials. I say $of.valid users dot hide. By default, you need to hide that. We are already using jQuery also, so we can use those methods. In case of valid user, also hide it. Otherwise, I don't need to because anyway, I'm hiding it on load. If it is invalid user, I say show. Okay, save this guy and come back to this. Once I reload this guy, I go with login. I say ID, say some junk data. Once I click on login, you say invalid credentials, invalid user ID or password. Okay. For example, I say user underscore admin. Password is hello123. Once I click on login, this has to be hidden, right? Is it is valid user or what I'm getting response from the server? When I click on login, valid user. Fine, right? Response.msg. Is it is MSG? Yes. Then, okay, I'll do one thing. I will even hide this guy. Once I reload it, I click on login, user something I'm giving. Once I click on login, error. When I say user underscore admin, password is hello123. Once I click on login, don't say this. Not by default. It will come to the success message, right? It will come to the success. Am I going into the console? Yeah, under the console. Oh my God. You see, the response is not direct. Under the response.data is data. So I say response.data.msg. User so-and-so. I click on login, invalid user. I say user underscore admin. Hello123. Once I click on login, that is gone. That indicates that you are successfully logged in. But after successful login, what should I do? Do I need to close this pop-up and I need to show the product details page? Yes or no? Now, how do I close this pop-up, guys? I cannot do it closing this. Is it not through JavaScript I need to close this? Yes or no? But Bootstrap has given any JavaScript method to close the module? No, let us go with the getbootstrap.com. I say documents. I say models, right? Model. Under this, they would have provided a way to close the JavaScript method. Come on. Dismissal can be achieved using database discuss attribute on a button within the model. What if it is through JavaScript? Via JavaScript, create a model. Okay, that is fine. I want to close a model, man. Toggle. Manually toggles a model, returns to the caller before the model has actually been shown or hidden. Add event listener. New Bootstrap model. As of Bootstrap, all components support experimental model equal to new model. We'll do one thing. Why don't we create the Bootstrap model? But that is fine. Opening, I can do this. Button type equal to button close, area label close, data dismissal model. You know, like if I could able to click this guy, then that will happen. But the click, we cannot ask for the user. It has through JavaScript. Includes a model backdrop element, alternative specifies static for backdrop, which doesn't close the model. Okay. Keyboard true. Closes the model when escape key is pressed. Oh, that is fine. JavaScript should provide, Bootstrap should provide this. Or else we'll do one thing. We'll create the model using the JavaScript itself. Create a model with single line, model alternative, my model equal to new Bootstrap options. I will do one thing. Once I'm clicking on this index.html, view word wrap. Where is this login? This is not. Okay, data toggle. I'm not going to give it. I'm not going to give this guy also. I say on click, show login dialog. Model alternative equal to new Bootstrap model, and that guy is okay. Let us see what is going to happen here. I'm not going to send any options right now. I come back and I reload the page, inspect. Nothing happening. Is it is firing? It is firing. Okay, then we should have an option under this guy itself, my model alternative dot show. Let us see. Reload this, click on login. Pop-up is coming. In the same way, then I will make it as a global. I say where login model is equal to so and so. Okay, when I want to close this guy, I will say valid user login model dot hide. Login model dot show. Reload it. I click on login. I say user ID login, not getting hidden. I say user underscore admin. 1, 2, 3. I click on login. That is getting so nice. Okay, so what I have done is I have gone through JavaScript code of enabling the Bootstrap model, guys. Why the reason? If you see here earlier, what we said, if at all I have to include the Bootstrap model, we are simply copying this HTML and pasting it here. We are giving the button. On click of this button, automatically pop-up is coming. But now my expectation is, instead of clicking on this, what if I want to enable that using your JavaScript? Why the reason? Because in our requirement, once I click on login, when the user clicks on login, I'm going to the server, checking whether that ID password is valid or not. If it is valid, I'm coming back and I'm disabling. I have to hide this pop-up. And in order to hide this pop-up, user is not clicking on close button or escape button. I have to functionally, I have to hide that guy. In order to functionally hide that guy, I have created the Bootstrap using your Bootstrap model using JavaScript. JavaScript of Bootstrap itself. What I'm doing in order to create a model, I'm saying one variable equal to new bootstrap.model. If you ask me, how do you know? I have just gone through this documentation. See, under this documentation, they have even said this. They have said this, there are two ways. Where was that? I just copied from here only, right? Yeah. See here, via JavaScript, if at all you have to do, either use a new bootstrap.model with document or reference so-and-so, or you can say so-and-so with element reference. So once I'm doing this, I'm getting this pop-up. You see, when I have to show the pop-up, on click of login, I'm not going with the default HTML part. I'm saying new bootstraps of so-and-so, login model dot show. Then it is going to show me the login model here. Okay. So it's all happening with your JavaScript now. It's not with the plain HTML. Okay. Now the next part is login model dot show. Yeah, it is getting shown. Super fine. In the same way, when I want to hide it, I'm even saying that login model dot hide. Done. Now my next thing, what I need to do is, once I click on login, when the user is giving the valid details here, I have to remove this login part and I have to show the product details part here. Now, in general, what people are going to do when they do this, in general, I mean, till now, when you're doing your projects, what you are doing is, in order to create the login page and in order to create the product details page, you are creating two individual separate pages, isn't it? Now, what I need to do, for example, I have to show the product details page. I need to copy this index.html. I need to paste this. I need to save it. And I call this as product details.html. And under this product details.html, obviously, I don't need this forgot model. I'm going to remove it. I don't need this sign up model. I'm going to remove this. I don't need this login. I'm going to remove it. And same footer will be there. Same main content will be there. Under the main content, you won't be having this carousel. Okay, I'm going to delete this carousel part. And I'm going to say about to load the product details over here. Okay, now when I save this guy, if you see, if I open this index.html, this is how it is opening. Now, if I try to open this product details.html, okay, now I make this guy as localhost colon. This is how the product details is coming. Same header, same footer. Only thing is I have to load the product details over here. Are we clear? Okay. Now the question comes is, boss, when I'm coming into this onload, the product details page, I mean the login page. Okay, onload page, when I'm loading over here, you go to the network tab. Under the network tab, when I say all, when I'm going to reload the page, you see here, I have loaded Bootstrap Mini. I have loaded Bootstrap Mini bundle.js. I have loaded some login.js, Axios, jQuery, Bootstrap Mini, favicon, etc. some HTML, and it is taking this much of time to load it. Now, when I'm coming to this product details, now when I'm going to inspect these guys, go to the network tab. When I'm going to reload, am I unnecessarily reloading all the pages once again, all the JavaScript code once again over here? Yes, it is. So this is the problem what we have when you go with the individual web pages designing. Whenever you go with separate pages, for login page, I will create a separate page. For product details, I'm going to create a separate page. For adding item into cart, you're going to create a separate page. That is never going to work. So in order to avoid this, the main problem is, first problem is resources unnecessarily reloading and we are taking the time. For example, to load all the resources under the index.html, assume it is taking some 10 seconds of time. Now, when I go to the product details, even that guy is also using the same resources. Am I unnecessarily wasting my another 10 seconds of time here? Point number one. And the point number two, when I'm creating this HTML, I'm loading this header part, I'm loading this footer part. Am I going to spend some seconds of time for creating the DOM structure, header part, HTML, body, everything, DOM structure, we are taking some time. When I'm coming to the product details, am I wasting the same time again to recreate the complete DOM structure here? Yes, boss. The second problem. And the third problem what I have is, in future, the theme changes. I say that, boss, header is not looking with this color, make it to something else. Do I need to do the changes in all the other pages also here, whoever is using the theme? That is where, to avoid all these problems, we go to the next concept, which we call it as a SPA, which is called as single page web application. So it is never recommended to create multiple HTML index pages or multiple HTML pages for individual pages under the single project. Whenever you go with any of the big project, either it's a small project or a big project, it is always recommended that you go with a single master page. One master or one index.html file will be only one. The remaining all are going to be components. Now let us take an example. For example, I'm saying that this is one of the web page, which is having something called as some header, common footer, and I have some piece of content over here. Okay, some piece of content is there. Now assume this is going to be your index.html. Now in order to recreate the product details, what we are doing, say we having the same type of look and feel, same header, same footer, background resources are also same, where you're going to work with some multiple product over here. In the same way, assume you're going to create a different page, which is for say something called as view items in the cart. Okay, cart items, I want to see it. Again, you are going to create something like this. So now if you see, the common thing what I have is every 3 pages is belonging to the same domain. All the 3 pages are going to have the same header, same footer, same theme and all. Only thing is internal content is changing. Now, instead of creating multiple pages, you know what to suggest? We suggest that you create a single master page where that guy is going to have a header, that guy is going to have the footer, these guys are going to have the list of all the resources, whatever it is needed, jQuery, Axios, Bootstrap, anything, any external library, what all the JS needed, you just keep it over here. Now what we do here, we create a separate template. I'm not talking about the page here. I'm talking about the template. You know what I mean by template? Is template is a complete page? No, template is a piece of part. Now under your this guy, this page, this search bar is one of the template. Header bar is one of the template. Footer bar is one of the template. So whatever the look and feel you have, this slideshow is one of the template. So every individual thing is a piece of template here. Now what I'm suggesting, instead of creating the page, now you create a piece of template for index page. Okay, whatever the index page you have, create a separate template. Now if I go here, I create a separate template for something called as product details. I create a separate template. See, small pieces I'm creating. Now I create a separate template for view items in cart. Okay, I want to create something like this. Now what I'm going to do, I have this main page. If at all I have to load the index page, what I will do, I will take a copy of this and I'm going to add it over here. User will feel like index page got completely loaded. Now if I say that I want to load the product details, what I'm going to do, I will delete this part. I copy this product details template. I'm copying this and I'm going to keep over here. User will feel like product details got loaded. Is it not simple, boss, for me? Now you tell me how many times the complete main DOM structure getting created? One time. Only the sub DOM structure gets updated every time. How many times the header and footer is getting loaded? Only once. How many times the resources are getting loaded? One time. So this is what we call it as a single page web application. Irrelevant of how much lengthy the project is, at a time it is recommended to go with only single master page. Under that you keep adding the pages whatever you wanted. Are we clear? Okay, now let us implement the single page web application concept in our thing. Now what I say is, I'm going to create a separate folder. I say all the templates will be under this. So under templates, I say product details page. Okay, this is a product details page. And what is the extension recommended for a templates? HTM. Okay, I go with this HTM. Now I say I'm going with the bold tag. I say hello, product details about to come. Okay, in the same way, whatever I have added, this default, whatever I have added this navigation bar, it should be there. Whatever I have added this main bar content, obviously the main bar should not be over here, because under the main bar only, I'm going to add the content, main content. Now I'm going to take out this main bar content and I'm going to create a separate page. I save this, I call this as a, under the templates, I say welcome page dot HTML. Okay, I created two separate templates. One is the welcome page, one is the product details page here. Now when I go and reload your page, I come back and reload my page. This is how it is. You see, this is the master page which got loaded, which is having the space and which is having the footer. Now you need to write the piece of code. How do we show that welcome block dynamically into this guy? Okay, so what I'm going to do, on load of the page, I say another separate JavaScript file. I say index.js. Okay, under index.js, I'm going to say where load selected page. I want to write an individual method here. Page is one of the method like this. Under this, for this guy, you will be getting the type. What type you want, then I'm going to load it accordingly. Now I say switch, whatever the type it is, accordingly you're going to write it. Now I say case, something called as login. When it is, sorry, not login, it is welcome block or welcome page. Break. Now when I say case, I say what? Product details. Okay, colon, I say break like this. Okay, now when it is welcome page, what I need to do, I need to go to this, where under the templates, I have a page called as welcome page.htm. I need to fetch all this content and I need to place it under this main block. How do I do? How do I get the data from that external HTML file? Ajax call I can do. Yes, right? Now I go with this index.js. I say where template URL. Okay, I say template URL is equal to under templates. File name is welcome page. HTM. Okay, in the same way for product details, the page will be .htm. Any questions? Okay, now I go for this guy. After this, now I need to create an Ajax call. Axios, right? I can go with Axios. Under Axios, what all I'm going to go for? I need to go with the API. You know, like if you ask me that, okay, boss, I don't know what you mean by Axios, how do I use it? Go with the Axios documentation. They will be providing you the sample example. How do we start? Now, say, for example, I go over an example. How do we install? You see, if it is a get communication, this is what we do. If it is another way, you can go for this. For example, if you're passing any parameters. Right now, I'm not passing any parameters. This is the example I can follow. I can copy this. I can paste this over here. Okay, under this, under then method, I'm going to get the response. Under catch method, I'm going to get the error. Finally, I'm not going to do it now. Okay, so under this Axios, for this guy, I'm going to pass the URL. Boss, you take this template URL, you give me the response. Okay, on load of the page, no one is going to tell you, you need to automatically load the welcome page by default. Okay, that is the reason on load of the page, I'm saying load selected page, which we call it as welcome page. Okay, I'm saving this, I'm coming back and I'm reloading the page. Inspect this and see whether are we getting the data or not from the this guy. When I reload the page, it is not coming. Why so? Index.js is not at all included. After Axios, then I have to say script src is equal to js slash index.js. Now if I come back and reload the page, it says require is not defined. Index.js. Who added require? Who added this? Default access. I reload the page. You see here, this is the response what I'm getting. See, under the div tag, I'm getting all the HTML content dot data. Now, if I say console.response.data, save this guy, reload the page. See, this is what the HTML template for the welcome page. Now, whatever I got, take it and add it onto the main block. Now, I'll say that $of main tag is there, right? Main block dot HTML is response dot data. Save this guy, come back here, reload the page. I reload it, I see the welcome block getting added on load of the page. Now in the same way, I need to call the same method when I go with this login.js. When the valid user is there, after hiding the login module, do I need to show the product details page to the user? Yes. Now for this guy, you need to pass the parameter, something called load page product details. Now if I save it, come back and reload. See, on load, I'm getting this. Now and you know, like sometimes it doesn't come. The reason is DOM structure getting loaded. Now under this index.js, while you're loading, you can say document dot add event listener, DOM content got loaded. You know this, right? You are making sure that complete DOM structure loaded, then only you do this guy. Load selected page and you do this. Got it? Document.ready if it is jQuery. Now there is no way that it will miss it. Okay, now I go to the login. I'm giving some invalid data. I click on login. It is saying like invalid credentials. For example, if I go with user underscore admin, I say hello 123. Once I click on login, you see the product details got loaded. So now you could able to load two pages. When the end user is looking into this guy, he will feel like, I mean, we still need to add the products, etc. things and all. But when the end user is looking into this page, what he will feel, okay, there is one different welcome page. There is one different product details page. That is what he will feel. But at the background, how many pages we have was one single page. Okay, using one single page, we could able to do every other part. This is what we call it as a single page web application concept. This concept is very, very, very important, guys. When you go to the frameworks like Angular by default follows the single page web application feature. When you go with the pages like React, it also by default follows the concept of single page web application. So single page web application is not a what I can say, it is not a concept. No, I don't even say concept actually. It is not a concept of specific technology. It is a feature, any technology can implement it. I'm not saying that SPA is only for the JavaScript. No, SPA is one of the concept which can be injected to any of the application, any of the framework. Angular will come. I also support that feature. React will come. I also support that feature. Are we clear? Understood, everyone? Now our next job is how do you load this product details on this? Okay. So how you're going to load the product details? In order to load the product details, what should I go for? So I go with this product details page, or else under the product details template, under this template product details page, I'm going to create the div tag. I say some ID equal to product details folder. And if you remember, we have already written some piece of code to dynamically load the product details on the page. Using template also we have seen, using your handlebars. Okay, is that okay? Can I copy the piece of code from there? Okay, can you tell me where, when we have done that? Don't say, go and check. Okay, under class track, jQuery selectors, JSON conversion, HTML, before HTML5 only, right? Event handling by DHTML, creating elements, CRUD.js. What is CRUD full form? Create, read, update, and delete. Single level inheritance, constructor. This keyword, I think this only, right? Progress card generator, event card handling, OTP, I think on class 47, 26.4. This is progress card. There is one DHTML folder we used to create. Main. Product details, that is using Ajax, but I wanted using hard coding. Right now, I don't want to put Ajax. May 15th, DHTML, individual product detail. Oh, this is also Ajax. I think I copied two folders. Okay, app Ajax. Oh no. Oh, is it? 14, no class. May 13th, DHTML. Don't say that, man. Yeah, 13th, DHTML, Ajax. How many Ajax we have done? 12 DHTML product details. Now when I go for this, load products, obviously it should not be Ajax, right? jQuery I used. Already Ajax is happening. Okay, I'll do one thing. I will take this dummy data. Okay. I will hard code the data in our server side. In our project also, under the public, under the JavaScript, I'm creating another new file. I say load product data.js file. Under the load product.js, I'm hard coding this guy. We have even handled the rating also, right? Good. In that case, you know, when I go with 30th, when I go with this Ajax, no hard coded data. But I think rating, everything has been done here. I will copy this guy. Okay, I will go with this load product data. And get rating. Get product details, Ajax, I'm not going to do it. On load of the page, just load details, that's it. That's it. So I can say load p details. This is the method what I need to do. Now what I have to do is when I come to the index.js, I'm loading the product.detail.js. Here I need the finally. Okay, so here I need to load the product details. In what case? When if it is product data, then in that case, I need to check the type also here. Under the finally, if it is product data, or else why I'm doing this, because finally will work even for the non-template or non-product details template also. So what I will do is, this is response.data. Now I will check a condition. If at all the type is equal to product details, in case of your product details, you need to invoke this method called as load p details. Load p details. Now when I go with this load p details, it is going with load product data and these guys going. Now I don't have any product details container. Let us create a product details container here. Okay. Save this guy. He's looking for a class. Let me make it as ID. Save this. Reload your page. I go with login. I go with user underscore admin. I say hello 123. Once I click on login, no product data displaying. Because details I need to invoke it, right? First of all, under your HTML. Under JS, under load product data.js. Now if I reload it, I click on login. I say user underscore admin. Account password is hello 123. Once I click on login, it is not showing the product details. Let us go into the console. It says that load p details is not defined. How come you say that? I saved this. Load p details is there, right? Yeah, invoking itself, it is throwing an error. I have already invoked it in index.js. If type is equal to product details. Now when I reload, okay. Now let I go with the login. I go with user underscore admin. Hello 123. Once I click on login, under index.js, load p details is not defined. How can you say that, man? Load p details. What I give here? Load p details is there, right? Why it is saying it is not there? Don't say that, man. Where am I including this? Now index.js is loaded first, but before that, load product details has to be loaded. I have this method. If I say alert hello, oh man, am I defining multiple methods with the same name? No. Why it is not invoking? I'm invoking this. Why it is not invoking? Load product. Wow. Yeah, I'm doing on the same file. Index.js is also the same. Do I have any different same method? No way. This is strange. Just give me. What is the strange? I have index.loadProduct.js. Under that, I have a method called as loadPDetails, and I'm invoking it. Then why it is not getting loaded? Anyone? Check script spelling. Is it? That's a good point. Wow. It is scripts I have added. Okay, I go with login. I go with user admin. Account password is hello123. Once I click on login, you should able to see the product details getting loaded. But the problem is CSS we haven't yet added. Okay, the corresponding CSS, where is our CSS? This is our CSS, right? This is the problem. I have added direct LI, ULs and all. It should not be the case because other UL LI also will get affected. I will create a separate CSS file. I say product details.css. Under that, I'm going to paste this. This is the UL, right? I will say product details container UL. Is it ID or hash? ID. And in that case, I need to copy the images also, right? Rating images. Am I using spriting here to show one image? Now again, do I need to have the product details separate page? No, only one index.html. Now I reload the page. I go with login. I say user admin. Hello123. I have not included the CSS. This is how it is coming. Things are not coming. We will check on that. Okay. Tomorrow I'm going to add it. Otherwise, can anyone check on this? Check it out. Okay. Check. You have a question or you are saying that you will check? You will check it. Yeah. Do it out, guys. So this is where we have done. We could, I mean, right now today, what we have got is we could able to implement the single page web application concept, and we have integrated our product details into this. And the problem, what is, the achievement, what we have right now, the limitation, what we have is when I come to the product details.js, generate captcha, load product details. So right now, the data, what we have taken is hard coded data. How you're going to make it as dynamic, that I'm going to take in the next class. Okay. So let's pause it for today. Make sure everybody does the enough practice on this, guys. And let me know if you have questions. Bye for today, guys.